Awesome. So here we are again. Hello, New Generation team. Good to see you all. Looking lovely. Kelly, fresh as a daisy. 4 a.m. Is it with you?
3:30.
3:30. I love it every time. Every time. So let's do the usual before we get stuck into this week's topic, which is going to be all about plugins. So just sort of a quick fire sharing of handy plugins that we've all been using in our online businesses and our websites and so on. 6 months ago, just over 6 months ago, when I started, a plugin was something I'd never heard of. And it was a revelation to me that there's like apps for your website that you can just install and they do shit for you. It's great. I guess it's a form of outsourcing. And we'll get into various topics or various areas in which they can help your website and help your business by talking about individual plugins that we've all used. So without further ado, let's do a quick hello and introduction. We've got the lovely Jade Lawler. Jade, if you want to introduce yourself and where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Jade Lawler. You can find me at leslieandjadelawler.com, and I'm actually really looking forward today because I'm looking to get some tips for myself. Never knew what a plugin was, never heard of one, and it took me a while to get my head around it.
True. I hear you. Definitely, they're definitely a way of life now. But without getting too bogged down in the technical stuff, we'll move on and start sharing shortly. So Kelly, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Kelly Petering. You can find me at kelly-petering.com or The Elegant Entrepreneur on Facebook.
Awesome, and the very handsome Jay Williams. How are you, Jay? Okay. Jay?
It just froze. What the hell's going on?
There you go. You're back in the room.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I was just sorting out my my actual tag on the bottom.
Okay.
So as you can see on the screen, I'm part of a formidable partnership. Me and Chris Gore. We're available at www.chrisandj.com. We're also starting up a new website at the minute called Ex-Military Entrepreneurs. So it's all going on. And websites is my area of expertise, apparently, because Chris can't do it. So it falls to me. So plugins is, it's like second nature to me.
Without wanting to make it sound too technical, though, it's definitely something that is a lot more manageable and doable than I would have thought a year ago.
Oh, it's amazing how easy it makes some kind of thing. Yeah.
There's a plugin for everything. It's like Fiverr.
Yeah. Even just building a website is a hell of a lot easier than I ever thought it would be if you'd asked me a year ago. We're all lucky with SFM having Digital Business Lounge, but plugins, especially once you've got, assuming that you have a website up and running, plugins are definitely something that can add a lot more functionality and definitely outsource areas of your business that you may be creating jobs and labour for yourself. In fact, let's start off with...
I just want to point something out.
Yeah.
Look at that whiteboard behind you. That is like action.
An explosion. I know. My mate stayed here on Friday night and slept on my sofa. And then on Saturday morning, we had new internet being installed, so I had to shift her out, and she was really hungover, and she came and laid on my bed, and she rolled over and went, I can't handle that right now. She was like, get me a Nurofen, I've got a hangover, I can't look at that right now, you do too much. But I'll come in, and if something's on my mind, I just write it down. It's a brain dump. I need to organise it a bit better, really. It's a bit all over the shop. But back on task. I would like to start with Kelly, just because you're going to talk about Visita, I believe, and just going on straight away from how a plugin, for example, can actually outsource some work. And I know that Visita is very relevant in that respect. So if you want to take us through that, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. This is probably one of my favorite favorite plugins at the moment. I've used a few different, or I've trialed a few different scheduling tools before, and I really like this one actually, and it's so easy because it is a plugin, which is awesome. So yeah, vSeater is an online appointment scheduling tool. So literally adding the plugin allows you to create pop-ups. So you can have that little tiny little contact button. Did I just miss something?
You got some feedback.
We have got a bit of an echo. Is anybody watching something online? Nope. Okay,
Nope.
cool. Carry on, Kelly.
Oh, fix itself. Sorry. So yeah, it is an online scheduling tool. So you can have a little contact pop up down the bottom of your website, so that you can set it to immediately pop up when someone comes on your site. It says contact down the bottom. Really, really easy way to allow people that are visiting your site to contact you or schedule an appointment with you. Yeah, so really, really convenient. It has a free account, so if you want to just do basic stuff and sort of learn how it works, you can sign up for a free account, which allows you to have appointments scheduled with you and to create a calendar for yourself so that you can book in times with any clients that are interested at a time that suits you. You can also get a premium account, which does a whole lot of amazing things, which I'm just learning about, to be honest, because I'm just using a free account at the moment, because that's suiting me just fine. But for a paid program, there's 3 different versions which allow you to do just a little bit more. So you can do lead generation and contact management, so you can actually keep clients' details, have little client cards. So if you're building up a lot of a client base, a large client base, and you can manage that very easily. You can also process payments and do invoicing via vSeater as well, which I only just learned, which is pretty cool.
So I'm
going to definitely look into that. Yeah. So I've just been using PayPal, and yeah, I don't know if this is any better, but apparently you can process credit cards and via PayPal using vSeater, send invoices, and yeah, so pretty cool stuff. You can also create a sidebar contact bar as well in your website. So if you don't want the little pop-up thing, you can just have it in your sidebar if you prefer that. You
can also become an affiliate for that, which is good.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It does give you that option.
Yes, yeah.
And there's one other thing that I found out about it. I wasn't doing my research checkup on you, Kelly, honestly. Basically, with the pop-up, you can obviously control how long it takes before it displays on your website. But you don't necessarily want it on every page, because it starts to piss people off a bit when it's popping up every minute. Let's talk.
Yeah.
So actually go onto the vSeater website and get a piece of code that you generate when you're actually creating your account. And you can just paste that into the header of the pages you want to show it on. So it will only appear on certain pages. So if, for example, people are reading your blog, then you're probably going to want them to try and schedule an appointment, so you can do it that way.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Mine's on all of them at the moment. I think we've probably all got vSeater, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think it's a really good tool to engage.
Yeah.
So if they're reading a blog, like you say, Jay, or if they just go and check you out, it's definitely an engagement tool. I think encourages people to contact.
Yeah.
You can even change the colours.
And it's the active one, so the pop-up you can set to either just come up immediately.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, you can, if you have a particular brand and you have a particular colour.
And you can also set it to.
Yeah, if it's associated with your brand, then you can choose your colour on that as well. And you can choose the text, like we said. I think we have, like, we're here, come and say hello, or something like that. I don't know. But you can choose your text on what you want to say. If you want to be professional and say, let's have an appointment, or you want to say, let's talk about what you did at the weekend. It's completely up to you. So it's pretty
Is that on the free version, Jay, or?
Yeah, you can do that on the free version.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to rain on your parade, Kelly.
No, it's all good, all good. Anyone's free to jump in. I was also going to say that you can also set it to pop up every 5, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, however long you want, so that you just keep reminding people, hey, I'm here. If you want to contact me, I'm here. So you can set it to however long you want.
Cool, cool. So I think that's a must for anyone who's watching who maybe has their own small business, whether it's online or offline, but you have a website for your business. It's something that you might want to consider. It's definitely a form of outsourcing. I think it encourages people not to maybe email you for appointments if they know that's there. It's definitely going to stem the amount of admin you've got in regards to contacting people, and it's so much easier just to have a quick Skype call, or it gives you those options as well, doesn't it? You've got four or five different options that you can tick, and you can put prices on them as well. So you've got you can. I think I've seen several. I've only obviously got free stuff, but you've got several options where you can set a price. So you could do a free 30-minute call or an hour's consultation with a price on it, like you say, and then you can process a payment through it. So it's a really quick way of.
The only downside to the free.
I think compared to some of the other.
Go on, after you.
Got a bit of a delay.
I was going to say there's quite a lot of other tools that you can use for online scheduling, but I think this one, because you can also process payments, I think it's 2 in 1.
For sure. Definitely. Cool. All of these, presumably, we've all got this one on our website, haven't we? So if anyone wants to see what it is, if they don't know what it is, they can maybe pop to any of our websites and check it out. They'll see it pop up usually in the bottom right-hand corner.
One last thing I was just going to say, the only negative with the free version is it doesn't allow you to pick your times that people can schedule. But that's not a major issue, because you can always decline the invitation and try and reschedule, but then you might end up going backwards and forwards, which isn't ideal.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's the premium one does let you block out your own diary, which is then it becomes a much bigger outsourcing asset, I think. If you're that busy, if you're lucky enough to be that busy in your business. Cool. Well, I've just made a note to do when we finished this. We'll put maybe some links to each of the plugins, or just the names and descriptions of them in the YouTube recording, so people can find them easily enough. I know when we're talking, it's not always clear, and there's a bit of a delay because I know I'm getting an echo. Cool. We probably should have started with this one, but I'm trying to do these in an order of sort of logic. Jay, do you want to tell us about Optimized Press, because that's more to do with
building
of a website.
So Optimized Press is basically the best tool I've ever found. It's ridiculously easy, and we're obviously talking about plugins. It actually comes with a theme, and it's basically drag and drop. It allows you to just move a video from A to B, and you don't have to deal with all your complex code. So just the same as WordPress, it's actually a plugin for WordPress, and it just fits right into your WordPress platform, and you can manipulate it in any way you like. And it is absolutely incredible. It costs us $97. I've got it in front of me here. $97, and you can use that on 3 sites. And there's a couple of other packages, which is Pro package, which is $297, and that's unlimited websites you can use that on, and Publisher package, which is $197. And if this is something you're interested in and you can't be bothered to learn WordPress and learn all the ins and outs of trying to figure things out, which can be quite stressful, that's why I bought it, then Optimized Press allows you to build websites in literally minutes. And not only that, you can create sales pages on there, squeeze pages, thank you pages, everything you could possibly imagine. It's just ridiculous. Membership sites, you can create webinar templates, and there are a shitload of templates on there that you can just use. And literally, I've got one page on my website, and it took me about 3 minutes to build.
It's
Literally.
really clean as well, isn't it, Optimized Press? I mean, I've seen a few websites that look quite similar because they're Optimized Press, but only because I know they've used Optimized Press, but it's really clean, and that's a glitch that I don't like about my website. The theme that I've got, it is a clean enough theme, but Optimized Press is very easy to manipulate and keep.
It is so clean, and it's so easy to change things.
Yeah.
Like this webinar tonight, I keep the same template, and I literally just change the date and the time, and it ticks down. It counts down how long you've got left until the webinar begins.
Yeah.
And I go in, change the subject, I change the video embed code, I get it given off you, Amy. Really, really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, landing pages as well. Creating landing pages. As long as you've got a fast enough website, then you can create landing pages in like minutes. It's like lead pages. It's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want on there.
But it's already part of your package that you bought, whereas lead pages is quite expensive, right?
No, $37 a month.
Yeah. What's enough?
Oh yeah. So it serves a purpose. I won't go into lead pages, but it works on. It's mobile responsive. It's mobile responsive, and their servers are rapid. So like your conversions go up because the speed in which your page loads is quite crucial to conversion rates. So we read an article a couple of weeks ago, and it said that if your page doesn't load in 3 seconds or less, then it can affect your conversion rate by up to 80%.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so take a look at your website. There's a few resources you can use, like Pingdom. Google actually do page speed, so you can check out the speed of your website like that.
Yeah.
And they also give you recommendations on how you can actually improve them. So yeah, there's some good stuff out there. But definitely, if you're going to use Optimized Press on your website, make sure that it is fast enough. I could talk about this all day because there's something called Content Delivery Network, which if you haven't got one, then it can make your website a lot faster. It's basically what happens is, imagine you're sat in the UK or Australia or wherever you are in the world, and your website is actually hosted on, let's say, GoDaddy, for instance. If GoDaddy had a server in America, and say Kelly wanted to access my website, and she's in Australia, my website is in America, and she'd have to go all the way to America to come back to get my website. What a Content Delivery Network does is it copies a version of my website to a server in Australia, in the UK, and Europe, and all over the world, so that when you go to access my website, Kelly, it's like it just grabs it really fast because it's in Australia. It doesn't need to go all.
A local version of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's something called Cloudflare, which is what we use.
So it's like it's hope.
Can I just ask, Jay, when you were saying before,
Go on.
Go on, Kelly.
yeah, just how you said lead pages is mobile responsive. Is Optimized Press not mobile responsive?
No, Optimized Press is mobile responsive, yeah. So you can use that. I mean, I was just going off on a tangent about lead pages and stuff, because
just checking.
Can do the things that lead pages does, because you can build lead capture pages with Optimized Press without having to pay a monthly subscription because it's included.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's included. So you get a year's support with Optimized Press, and so you get access to all the updates and support for a year if you buy Optimized Press. But all you need to do is make a couple of affiliate sales, and I think the commission's 40%. So you've almost got your money back through 2 sales.
That's the beauty of all this stuff to do with online marketing that I love. Every tool that you buy is probably an affiliate product, so you just bang a link to it on your website, and if somebody else wants to buy it, it's paying for itself. It's great. Love it.
and you just get an email, oh, you've just made a sale from like some random tool that you haven't used for 6 months.
No, but it's good in the sense that I think of it as it's totally ethical selling, because all you're doing is promoting something that you are testifying to the fact that it's a good tool and it's useful, and
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean,
you're actually just letting people know that I've used it, it's good, if you want it, here it is, great, if you make a sale out of it, brilliant.
I write blogs and do tutorials, and I always bang an affiliate link in there because they watch the tutorial and they think, oh, this looks quite good.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this, or you can recommend other products. That's the beauty.
Well, why don't you put your affiliate link in as the Optimised Press link, Jay? That would make sense. When the recording's uploaded, just stick your link in, do a quick description, put it in the YouTube recording once it's processed. So I don't think none of us have got Optimised Press, so I don't mind.
Kelly might have it. Have you, Kelly? Oh, I thought you had it.
Yeah, I do. I'm just using the plug-in though.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
I do. I'm just using the plug-in, not the theme.
Well, I'll bang that in there. Not a problem.
Yeah.
And if you want to go and check out my website, you'll see that it is very clean and it does look quite professional, even if I say so myself. Optimised Press is a great tool, and it's great for lead capture as well, because you can put opt-in boxes in just like that. You literally go, right, I want a video, or I want an opt-in box. Okay, click opt-in box. That colour with that button, set it into your Aweber, bam. And you don't even have to, create a form in Aweber and paste the code in. You literally integrate with Aweber straight off the bat.
Yeah, and it looks so clean. I know that it's all changing, but for example, simple lead capture just is nowhere near as easy from what I've seen. You just can't tweak it as easily, so you have to sort of settle for something that looks a bit not quite finished and it's a bit crap, but everything that's done in Optimised Press you can just shake around and it still looks really clean and finished.
Oh, it's awesome. One of the good things, actually, and it hasn't been confirmed yet, we're just waiting for an email to come through, that someone's looked at our website through a friend of a friend, and there's actually a program coming on Channel 4 in the UK, obviously, and they want us to design the website for it.
Amazing! Good work!
So yeah, that could be pretty interesting. And Chris is like, oh, Jay, do you want to design this website? I'm like, right, I do. Not a problem.
Nice fee attached to that, hopefully, Jay?
Yeah. Well, then, it's not only the fee, it's the because we can have a backlink on that website, and when that program goes live, there's going to be loads of traffic going to it, so
absolutely.
That works for SEO and Google, and we'll have it was us that built the website. So
yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Because one of the things we're actually working on is a package for website design. We're not actually going to do a lot of the web design ourselves. We're actually going to outsource it, but we can be the point of contact for web design.
Yeah. Initially, with something like Optimised Press, you could totally knock up a website for someone.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as they give me the design, if they tell me that I need this, this, and this, I can do that in an hour or two. Not a problem. I don't want to saturate my time. If I've got 10 websites on the go, I don't want that pressure of having to do that as well as run everything else.
Yeah.
So, but it is good. I could do that if I wanted to, and if I was doing this full time, then I could easily do that.
Yeah.
But so that's Optimised Press. If you want to go and see it, go and check out our website.
Awesome. Yeah, and there'll be a link under the YouTube recording as well. So moving on, I guess logically from having a website, you would be making blog posts. And I believe, Jade, what you're going to talk about, the plugin that you've been working with, is relevant to blogging. Am I right?
Yes.
Beautiful segue.
Go. Somebody told us about this plugin, and it's called SEO Yoast or Yoast. Not too sure. And when we were writing our blogs, had no idea at first. Didn't know. We just didn't know how to use the keywords, where to put what should be where, basically. And we started off with this plugin, and it tells you once you've written your blog and put your keywords in where you think they belong, it tells you at the bottom how many keywords were found in the heading, and if you need the keyword to be in the heading or it's not clear enough, in the page title, in the page URL, in the content, in the meta description, which really helped us to kind of gain a bit of momentum on, like, well, how many should we put in there? And it rates you, so you get good, bad, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was that part of it. And
so,
then,
for example, just to put it into context for people, what, like, in terms of your demographic that you're targeting, what might a keyword be that your demographic would search for, that they then might come across you? Expats, isn't it?
Say again.
Was it expats?
Expats, yeah. Yeah, that's, yeah.
So an expat might be sat in another country.
Example,
I used to be one, so I'm just thinking I would maybe be sitting in, when I was living in New Zealand, I might type into Google the keyword expat business opportunity.
Yeah. Or even general, we try and, because a lot of people search for, like, expats in Spain. So we, and just expat jobs, things like that over. So we try and keep it quite varied throughout the blogs, depending on who, obviously, they're aimed at more so.
But then you put that into the plugin when you're doing a blog post, and it tells you how well targeted your blog post is to that keyword.
Yeah.
Right.
And suggests, for example, if you, in your content, if you haven't got enough keywords, it suggests that you either input more or you've got enough.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite good because it gives you a complete breakdown of why your blog is good for SEO and why it's not. So I don't know whether you've seen this, Jay. You probably have. Like, if you've got less than, I think it's like, I don't know, it's about 200 words or something, 185, I think it is. Less than 185 words, it'll flag it up as like you need to put more words in. And it's got all those little tips and tricks, and it actually teaches you and tells you what you need to do to get your basically your blog ranking in Google for a particular keyword, like Jade was saying, expats.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, because with practice as well, you'll just start naturally writing.
Yeah, very good practice, because you just get used to it. Because we were writing blogs before, and we were just writing them. I didn't really know what one was, what the content had to be.
I think there's a lot of people that would feel like that.
Yeah. Well, we really struggled at first. We were like, well, what is a blog? How do we write a blog? Is it just a piece of writing, which we were doing for a very long time, just pieces of writing, informational stuff or whatever it may be.
So what advice would you give to anyone who is thinking about writing a blog now, Jade? Like, starting out, first thing before they even start writing.
Before you even start writing, do some research.
What, like your avatar, like the person you go.
Yeah, it depends. If you're gonna I put a blog out today, and I wrote it off the top of my head, and yeah, I have to be really in the right place to write a whole blog off the top of my head. I have to be in the right zone. But yeah, basically, just stick at it. Because we've really struggled with it and finding content and what we're meant to actually write about. But especially with the 30-day challenge, you get used to it. People write about different things, and you just see a title which gives you another idea.
Consistency as well.
Yeah, read other people's blogs. Have a look what other people are blogging about.
I was just about to say, one of the key things we found is, before we even start writing, is go, right, I'm going to write a blog and I'm going to write it about this, but who the hell am I going to write it for? Okay? Because I think it's so easy. You could be writing to someone who's like got a degree in fucking English or whatever, I don't know, or you're writing to someone who doesn't have a clue about an online business system. So that's what we had to get our head around, because we were doing the same. We were just like, oh, write a bit of this, write a bit of that.
Yeah.
And then it's so easy to do that, but you always have to start with the end in mind. Everything we do in this, end in mind. What do I want to get out of this? Do I want to have this plugin so I can do this? And it's one of the biggest things I think everybody fails to do at the beginning. They're just like, oh,
never know what blogging is, then it's hard to actually find something. That's my next blog. What is blogging? Because it's hard to actually find a piece of writing which actually explains it so simply.
Yeah.
And we spoke to Mark Ford at the beginning, and it sounded like he was speaking Japanese. I had no idea what he was on about.
He is crazy. That man writes so many blogs.
Yeah, at least 3 a day.
Exceptional as well. If you want to really feel inadequate on the blogging front, talk to Mark.
I'm a vlogger, so I'm different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but as well, write and consistency and get your ideas out. But at the same time, something like that, at the end of the day, when you blog, if you're doing it as part of your business, ultimately you want to get it ranked. So something like this plugin is a great thing to have from the outset, just so that you get into habits with it and you'll subconsciously start to see how frequently your writing will just naturally adjust. If every blog you write, you've got that little thing in the corner telling you more or less balance.
Yeah, exactly. The other bonus is, sorry?
Is this SEO Yoast free?
It is, yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. The other bonuses that I found that I really quite liked is you can optimize your titles. So your SEO title. So your SEO title is, for people that don't know, when you put a search into Google and you come up with your options, it's actually the blue header, and you can actually adapt. You can change that to what you want it to be, and space it out to make it look a lot more professional than obviously the automated one that Google just produces, really. You can change your meta description, which is basically the description of your link. So you can write what you want people to read, rather than, for example, the first 3 lines of your blog, which might not make a lot of sense. So you can write a quick description in there. You can also rate your own blog. So, for example, if you have got, I'm hoping I'm going to say this right now.
Rich snippet.
I'll say the first part. If you've got affiliate links on there, or you've, for example, you've taken a quote from a book, you can rate that book on there, which ranks you better in Google because you've mentioned it, and you get the 5 stars on your, when you search, and sometimes you get the 5 stars or 4 stars or 3 stars.
Yeah, it's called a rich snippet, isn't it?
That's it, rich snippet. That's a different plugin.
There you go, see? 2 for 1.
And the only thing with the rich snippet, so the good thing about rich snippet is, like Jay said, that you can actually rate it. People can rate your blog and all the rest of it. So when people type in that keyword and you've ranked for that keyword using SEO Yoast or whatever you want to call it, then they actually see the stars. They see the stars, and they used to see the picture, but Google have actually changed their algorithm, so you no longer see the picture anymore.
No.
What, your Google profile picture?
Yeah, your cheap.
Have they pulled that, have they? I didn't realise that changed.
Yeah. It also calls it the definitive guide to higher rankings for WordPress sites. So it also removes... Yeah.
Yoast is. That's a really good one. Make sure you put the link in for that.
Yeah.
Because that would be a really good one for people that are just blogging for not necessarily got an online business, but or not necessarily doing any affiliate marketing, but people that are just blogging. Whilst you've been talking about it, I've been thinking of my friend she's been doing a blog that's absolutely hysterical about her experience through pregnancy and motherhood, and it's really, really funny. And she just writes because she loves writing, but something like that could totally send her readership or the ranking through the roof, and then she could look at doing affiliate marketing with traffic she's already got.
Yeah. And it also removes stop words. So, for example, if you've got a title that is, I think, a title that involves the words a and the, that title is then turned into your permalink.
Yeah.
And that's not very good. It's not a good thing to have in your title. Found out tonight, actually.
What, your permalink or the title needs to be changed?
Yeah, but, right, let me try and explain this. If you've got a and the, and you haven't got Yoast, then it's not very good for ranking in Google, apparently.
The search engines are available.
Do you mean it's permalink?
Sorry.
So you might have the words in the title, but you don't want them in your permalink.
Exactly, but if you haven't got Yoast and you've already published that blog, for example, you can't change it afterwards.
Right, okay.
So, Yoast does it automatically. It'll automatically delete a and the, all the little words like that. It automatically deletes them.
So it automatically sets your permalink for optimized ranking.
Yeah.
Clever.
It's only something I found out tonight, actually, which I thought was quite interesting.
I always thought it was just annoying, if I'm honest. Like,
Yeah, so long. I think I've changed mine myself, but
yeah, I used to just go in and edit them and like, oh, why the hell is this keep changing?
totally. But by doing that, you might be making it detrimental. Whereas if this thing is doing it, it's taking out what needs to be taken out, but leaving in what needs to be left in for the keyword that you want. That's genius. Awesome.
So much more, but I'm going to stop because I didn't understand some of the rest of it, so it's going to take a little bit more studying.
No, that's cool. That's awesome. I think that's a huge one, actually. I don't have anything like that. I don't blog. I blogged for the 30-day challenge, but not every single day. I broadcasted every single day. It was very different this time round. But I think that's a really good one to have if you're going to take blogging seriously. The sooner you get into good habits, the better. Especially if you're on a small budget for marketing. I think that's huge.
Definitely.
Cool. Anyone else got any comments on everything so far?
I've got plugins I can reel off, but I'm going to get to it. I'll leave that to the end.
Okay. The only one I was going to mention, which is obviously another one that we have as part of our, well, you can actually grab it from any of our websites, TidyURL, and I know there are other versions of things that TidyURL does the job of, which is just more for affiliate marketers, which is why I've left it to the end. But I guess you could use it as a blogger if you've got a free WordPress site and your domain ends up being 500 miles long, which again my friend's one is. TidyURL is just a way of taking a really long, ugly link and making it short and neat. And if you've got the plugin for TidyURL, it puts it onto your own domain, which I know for a lot of us, if we're using Facebook ads, is particularly useful at the moment because a lot of affiliate programs, links and landing pages are being downgraded, as it were, with the Facebook police. So having something like TidyURL plugged into your website means that you can just put the long link in and then you've got your own domain / whatever, and it shortens it into something that's much prettier and much more professional. But I guess you could use it as a blogger if you were doing guest blogging or incorporating maybe an article into a blog post. You could put the article link into TidyURL and make it look as though it's on your own domain as well.
Have you used Pretty Links, Amy?
No, but it's the same thing, isn't it? It does the same job.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say that Facebook have actually stopped people posting on posts with TidyURL. I don't know whether you've seen that. They flag it as spam.
Yeah, TidyURL links are definitely a no-go, but
not the domain.
The plugin seems to be okay at the moment.
Is it working all right, is it?
It is. Stuart did mention recently in the Black group that the plugin had an update. So if you've had, bless you, Kelly, if you've had any if you have had issues using TidyURL plugin, uninstall it and reinstall it because it has been updated.
All right, okay.
So PrettyLink, I think, has been working fine as an alternative, which does essentially the same job. I haven't got PrettyLink. As soon as I get any problems, I will try it. But one thing that I like as well about, which I've actually only noticed tonight, well, I've noticed it before but never really paid much attention. The good thing about TidyURL is at a glance in your WordPress dashboard, you've got a couple of columns, not in any great detail, but once you've created your links, it's got the date you created it and the number of hits that link has had, and also the number of unique hits it's had. So very basic data. But I was just scrolling back through, and like a Facebook post that I'd cloaked a link for 6 months ago has had something like 800 hits. I think it's really cool, and it's like, oh my god, I'd never have expected that. So it's quite interesting to look at it now and again and think, you know, you might not go back and look at what that post was and do something similar.
Yeah.
So it's actually tracking a bit more data than some of these plugins give you. But yeah, it's an essential. Something like TidyURL or PrettyLink is definitely essential as an affiliate marketer to make your links look prettier and not be as obviously an affiliate link. I know that I prefer it when people can't necessarily see that it's an affiliate link.
Yeah.
And definitely makes getting ads approved a lot easier. So yeah, TidyURL, I think most of us have got banners for it on our websites again, but we'll chuck a link in the description if anybody wants it. Jay, you had some comments?
So, like, I mean, I've got loads of plugins that I could recommend, but some of the ones, obviously I was talking about the speed of your website before, and a few that you might want to try. They are WP Optimize. It helps to clean your database basically, because all your data, all your media, everything else is held on a database, and it helps to clean up. You know, when you delete things, you delete things, it normally leaves a hole, so it just cleans all that up and gets rid of all the gaps and makes sure that your database is nice and clean, so it makes it faster to read, and so your website becomes faster.
Nice, good one.
I put that in as a simple terms as I could. The other one is Smush It. So if you Smush It, SMUSH.IT. Okay, so that one, what that does is it compresses images. So if you're uploading massive images to your website, then what it'll do is it'll compress those images to a lot smaller size, but you won't lose out on quality. And so when your images are loading, they'll load a lot faster.
And does that do it automatically, Jay, or does it just mean that
once you've installed the plugin, it'll do it automatically? But when you first
upload, it will automatically get compressed?
Say that again, sorry.
So every time you upload an image, it automatically gets compressed? You don't need to do something first with the image?
No, it automatically compresses the image. But when you first install it, you actually have to go in and smush it all the rest of the images. But you can do that in bulk anyway, it's easy enough.
Okay. That's in the media library or whatever it is.
Yep. Couple more I've got. Let's have a look. I've got W3 Total Cache. And basically that one stops when your websites are loaded, they create like a cache file. I don't know whether any of you are familiar with that. But basically it allows your website to load faster. And it also clears out any old cache that isn't being used anymore, hasn't been used after a certain amount of days.
Okay, cool.
So that's another one. What else have we got? We've got something called revision control. So you want your website to be as small as possible, really, the size of your website, because it'll load faster. And so revision control allows you to restrict the amount of revisions on a post, like a blog post. So you know, like when every time you make an edit to a blog post, it'll save a revised version.
Yeah.
I think it saves up to like 15 at a time. So you've got 15 blog posts of the same blog post cached and saved. So that's loads of memory, and obviously it's going to slow your website down.
Yeah.
You can take that revision control to something you're comfortable with, like I leave it at 5. Because I might want to go back to 5 changes, then that's completely up to you. Okay.
Can you clear out revisions once you've published the blog, though?
Yeah, you should be able to, yeah.
It's just manual, boring.
Just manual, it's just saving you time again.
Yeah.
Other one is page speed. It's
Page speed.
just page speed. It's basically Google's version to help you increase the speed of your website. One final one is called jQuery Lazy Load plugin.
Okay.
Okay, so J as in J for Juliet, query, and then space lazy load plugin.
I just spelled query. As in like query, as in like I've got a query.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Lazy load plugin. And what this does is it, when someone comes onto your blog and say they click on the tab that says blog and you've got all your blogs in there, it will only load like the first blog, and as they scroll down it will keep loading the next one. So it doesn't take forever to load up all the images and all the blog posts.
Right.
It will only load the ones that they can actually see. And obviously as they scroll down it'll load the next ones up. So it actually increases the speed on your website.
Cool.
I wanted to ask about social media plugins, something that everybody's going to be getting on their website. We haven't got any at the moment just because of we had a lot of conflicts on our website. Any suggestions?
Shareaholic. So Shareaholic, you can control pretty much wherever you want to put the social plugins. You can have them hovering on the left-hand side. You can have them below the blog post. You can have them at the bottom of every page, or whatever. You can move them all over, and you can actually set up an account with them, and you can go in and edit the way they look. If you want to see the counters, there's loads of little things you can try on there. But we use Shareaholic, and it looks really good actually. So
yeah, are they the ones that sit normally in like a little toolbar and they've got an arrow?
So no, we play about with them.
Right, you can just edit them.
You can just edit them, yeah. So there's different features. You can have them round, you can have them square.
Right, okay.
Just go and take a look at it. Honestly, you'll find one you like.
And is this the one? This is just to enable people to share your content.
Yeah, on social media. So I know, Amy, you're a fan. You're a fan of IFTTT, which is something we started using, which is if
this then that.
If this then that. So
I haven't actually used it. I've looked at it several times and never set it up how I need it, but it's phenomenal.
So you can use this tool called IFTTT, and you can basically automate all your social media. So you could share it from your website, and once it's shared to your website, it'll share all around your social media. You can even get it to send you text messages if you want. There's so many features on there. It's basically rules.
My favourite thing about that, though, is my vision of being able to outsource is that, say you start, I don't know, say you outsourced your social media, just as an example, or say you have got someone keywording your videos because it's a boring job, and like Jay, you, for example, make hundreds of videos. What I love is the fact that you could pay someone in Indonesia or whatever through Fiverr, and you could just say, every time I publish a YouTube video, it sends them a text. So I don't even need to get involved. It's just it's genius, because it's outsourcing, but you don't have to remember. Like, I forget to go and keyword my YouTube videos all the time, and I'm not even going to, because I just can't be bothered. And I do YouTube videos and put them into blog posts. I very rarely go and do anything with YouTube itself, because I don't really want people going to YouTube. But it's just brilliant in the sense that you could outsource that and have it sending a text message automatically. The day I discovered IFTT, I was just so impressed.
It's not a plugin, is it? It's just a tool.
No, it's just a tool. But obviously, if you're using the Shareaholic plugin, then you might as well have IFTTT set up, because it means
it could dovetail with plugins that you've got.
Yeah, you don't need to go in and share it to G Plus and share it to this, and it's got all sorts. If a post has a hashtag, then do this with it. It's ridiculous. It's so good.
And
I would say on that though, it's something where if you've already got, because I've made this mistake before and very quickly changed it back. I don't really use Twitter. I just have my Facebook page and my Facebook profile linked to Twitter. So every time I do something, it goes through Twitter. Whereas when I went to use, I can't remember which plugin it was that I used for about a week, it set that up so everything was going back on itself and doubling up. So I think you ended up with this problem once, Jay, as well. I remember you.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah.
And so you forget that you've already synchronized one element, so then you use one of these plugins, and it starts sending everything all over, like back on itself. So you end up, But once you get it set up.
The one thing I'll say is, if you want a fairly productive day, don't go on IFTTT because you'll be there. Oh, look at this rule. Oh, look at this rule. Wow, I can do that. I can send them a picture, whatever.
To bear in mind, if you are like doing the 30-day challenge, for example, at the moment, and you want to start outsourcing elements of one thing, it would be a good starting point. Say you're blogging and you want everything keyworded. That's something to me that is just boring, or you want something backlinked. Get it outsourced and use IFTTT to communicate to that outsourcer that that's what you're doing. We've got digressing a little bit.
IFTTT.
Huh?
You just search IFTTT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got one last plugin, which I know the Satori Prime guys use. We haven't actually used it, but I've seen it in action, and it's called Web Engage. So basically, this allows you to survey your audience that are visiting your website. You can run little toolbars. There's a whole host of little features that you can actually use. It is actually a paid plugin. You can run with a 14-day trial. It's $29 a month per website. But it is really useful for surveying your audience. And I mean, I'd only really use this if you were getting a lot of traffic to your website. It's not something I'd use if you're getting, a couple hundred people a week. I mean, if you look at Satori Prime, they're probably getting thousands a week.
Yeah.
It's a practical solution for them. So, I mean, I know like a lot of the plugins we've suggested to you today are free, and there are paid versions. Just weigh up what is practical to you, because I did a blog post tonight and I was talking about, is it relevant to you and your business right now? Do you need it? Because one of the first things people do when they start out in this industry, or any business I think it is, they go out and buy every single tool that they don't necessarily need because their competition's buying it or someone else in the industry is buying it because it's relevant to them at that point in their business. Only spend the money you need to for where you're at in your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be one of them
people. Keep everything simple. That's the biggest lesson I've learned in the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's only taken me 7 months to realise that, Amy.
Yeah, same. But when you realise it, you will get the results. And when you get the results, you kind of go, what the fuck am I doing all that for? Wasting all my time. I think I was talking to Jay about exactly that, tools. I was like, Optimize Press, yeah, I need that. I need to tidy up my website. What else? Every tool that Jay was using, I was like, oh yeah, when I buy it, and I will eventually, if I ever buy any of these tools, I will go to Jay's website because I've had conversations with him. But then I started making sales, and I was like, this is so simple. Just stick to the basics. So yeah, as great as all these tools are, that's a very good point. There'll be something out there for everything, and like we're always saying, if you are wondering how to do something on your website, or you've seen a functionality on somebody else's website, just Google it and it will probably come up in a Google search. Best plugin for scheduling appointments, or best plugin for designing websites, or what else have we talked about? Best plugin for shortening affiliate links.
If you see a website that you like, download an extension called Ghostly. you can actually see what's running on that website. It's a free plugin. Not free plugin, free plugin for Chrome.
Like an extension for Chrome.
Yeah, extension, yeah.
That's a good one. Cool. Well, let's not faff about too much. If we all make an effort over the next couple of days, maybe just to jump onto the YouTube recording. Jay, if you just want to put a title, plugins for speeding up your website with quick description of each one, I know that I'd find it useful. And by all means, put your optimized press affiliate link in. I'm sure I know a few people that would benefit from it. Yeah, hopefully that was useful. I've certainly learned a couple of things.
And me.
Hopefully people watching will have done too.
I'm surprised you stopped me.
I'm surprised I stopped you. What do you mean?
No, I mean I could just keep talking and talking and talking about this.
Yeah, you are the technical background. So if anyone has got questions for Jay, he's going to start charging soon, I'm sure, because his time will become very expensive. So get in now if you've got any questions. Cool. Anything else, anybody, or should we wrap this bad boy up? All of our websites will be in the description, about page as usual, and we will be posting about when we're doing our next hangout. Not sure what that one will be, but we shall be in touch. Cool. See you all in a couple of weeks.
Cheers, Amy.
Bye.
Bye.